Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 16, and this was the last episode, y'all. And thank goodness, because I am tired, and I mean tired with a capital T. For this episode, I'm only doing one video for my final thoughts, because I did have a few thoughts on this episode, but not enough for me to split it up and do videos on each separate couple. And you know me, I like to be passionate about my discussion. So I'm not going to waste your time and put out 4 videos when I can get it all in one. I'm going to start with the couples that I know are going to say yes on decision day. I just feel it in my gut they're going to say yes. And the first couple I believe is going to say yes is Steve and Noi. And the reason why I think they're going to say yes, particularly Steve, because he's already been picking out that diamond ring. And would nobody be picking out no diamond ring unless they're going to say yes on decision day? And I think Noi is going to say yes right along, because although Noi likes to complain and she likes to talk about what Steve's not giving her and she needs more and she don't want a 50-50 relationship, she really wants to do nothing. She ain't got no better offers out here, and she hasn't had no better offers for over 30-something years. So she ain't going to be a fool and turn down Steve's offer. So I know she's going to say yes too. But you know what? Steve's going to have something on his hands. He's going to have to deal with her for a lifetime. Hopefully she matures. Hopefully she grows up. Hopefully she starts appreciating Steve. Hopefully she realizes that she needs to contribute to the relationship too. Because right now, I don't think she's any of those things. I think she lucked out and got Steve. I think Steve is going to do what he has to do to make her feel comfortable. And the way Steve was talking last night, he might even go out and get a job for her. But that's what love would do for you guys. And in the end, I'm not married to Noi. Steve is. So if he's happy, I'm happy. No, I still think Steve is a little frugal. I think he got some money saved up, but I still think he's a frugal person. And even when he was picking out that ring for Noi, was it just me? Or did it feel like that was like a product placement ad where he was probably going to get that ring for free? I don't know. It seemed like an ad to me. I think they're going to both say yes. And whether or not Noi goes back to her little closet apartment and Steve goes back to his apartment and they work something like that, I don't know. It might be an unconventional marriage. But Noi is who Noi is. She's spoiled, entitled, and immature. And she's going to need to do a lot of growing up. So hopefully after she watched back this season, she'll be a bit embarrassed about some of her antics and she'll decide to make a change. The next couple I think is going to say yes, who I know y'all going to be mad, is Katina and Olajuwon. We already had you sleuths and detectives out there that figured out they still together because of the neck tattoo. Eddie messed that all up. Once they start showing us Olajuwon with that neck tattoo, and that was after decision day, we all pretty much figured out that they're still together, or they at least said yes on decision day. I thought it was going to be a yes anyway. And one of the things that people don't like, just like I said with Steve and Noi, is that we ain't married to these people. So the question is, are these people right for these people? And to be honest with you, as much as people don't like Olajuwon, it is what Katina asked for. If you go back to the very first episode, because I went back and looked at my notes, Katina said she wanted a guy that was going to push her. One of the reasons she broke up with her last guy is because he was passive and he didn't push her. And what she was saying was, it's not good to have 2 people in a relationship that aren't motivated and that aren't doing anything. And when you look at the 2 of them, you have to admit that 12 years is a long time, that if you were really serious about school, you didn't even finish your associate's degree. So Katina recognizes in herself that she needs some pushing. Well, guess what? She got the best person to push her. And although people may not like the way that Olajuwon pushes Katina, it sounds like he's pushing her hard enough that she's going to finish that doggone degree. Because at first we thought she had 2 years left on that degree. Come to find out, she don't even have the associates. She got 3 to 5 years. So people can be mad at Olajuwon if they want to, but he's making a valid point that if you want to have kids in 2 years and you're that far away from your degree and the nursing degree and kids and traveling and everything else, that's a lot on your plate. And even though Olajuwon is talking about he's selfish and he's going to choose him, Katina really ought to look at what she's put on her plate. I know she wants to do it all, but the fact that she couldn't finish a bachelor's degree in 11 years, now all of a sudden she's trying to do all these things in 2 to 3 years, I think it's really too much for Katina. But I think they're going to work it out because Olajuwon doesn't like to say it, but he's in love with Katina. And you know what Olajuwon is about to do? He's about to settle. Just like women out here say they don't want to settle for a man that's less than what they want, Olajuwon is about to settle for Katina, because even though Katina isn't what he would want, he wanted a woman who was stable in her career. He wanted a woman with this, who could cook. Guess what he's about to do? Settle. And just like I said with a lot of people, that's sometimes what you end up doing. You do end up settling, if that's what you guys want to call it. But I think Olajuwon is going to make the decision that even though he does want all those things, he's in love, and that's going to trump all the things that Katina isn't. One thing that Olajuwon talks about all the time is the way that Katina makes him feel. He has never felt this way before. No woman has ever made him feel this way. Listen, if you can make a man feel a certain kind of way, then you're irreplaceable, because men can always go out and get a woman that can cook, who can sleep with them, who can turn tricks in the bed, who can do their laundry, who can do all these things. But those are just maids, housekeepers, and cooks. But if you can make a man feel a certain kind of way, that's a special kind of thing. And Olajuwon, I don't believe is going to give that up. So I believe Olajuwon is going to say yes. I think he's going to be crying and blubbering the whole time, professing his love or feelings or whatever he's going to want to call it. And I think Katina is going to say yes, because I think she does want to live up to the expectations of Olajuwon. I think Katina actually wants to be the woman that Olajuwon is describing. I don't think he's forcing her to be that woman. I think in her heart and her soul, she actually wants to be that woman. So she doesn't look at it as put down. She looks at it as an assessment of where she is, and she recognizes that it is where she wants to be. So I don't think she takes it as hard as other people. But hey, you know what? Like I said with Noah and Steve, we're not married to him. But do I think Olajuwon is good for Katina? I do. I think he is good for Katina, because it's what Katina wants. And it makes Katina happy. It makes me happy. Now for the couples I think aren't going to make it. Michael and Jasmina. It's a wrap. I held out hope in the beginning. Then I went away from them. Then I came back to them. But it's a complete wrap. It's a complete friend zone. It's not that Jasmina doesn't have feelings for Michael for whatever reason. But I think it's more than that. I think it's more than just a physical attraction issue with Jasmina. I think Jasmina actually has problems bonding with men. When she was talking to that man, whoever it was on the computer, she sure was giddy and laughing and bright-eyed. I was like, ooh, she's smiling more at him on the Zoom call than she does to Michael, who's her husband. That made me think of something. That says, why does Jasmina like men who are unavailable? Because whoever that man is, he must be unavailable. I don't know. Is he married? Does he have a girlfriend? Does he not like women? He likes men. Is he out of state? Because Jasmina seems to like men that aren't available. Men on TV, K-pop men. Maybe she likes all this Korean stuff she was talking about at the beginning of the season. All her boyfriends have been out of town. She always has a reason to want a man that's unavailable. To me, that has to deal with deeper issues that's going on with Jasmina. The type of stuff that Jasmina did in the early part of the season, how mean she was to Michael and how nasty she was. Remember Jasmina? That's just not because you don't like a person. Some of these things were because she was purposely trying to push Michael away. And like I always said, I think Jasmina is very fearful. I think she's a very afraid person. And I think that she has a lot of trauma that interferes with her ability to connect and bond with a man. When I look at Jasmina and Michael, I say, I don't understand why Jasmina couldn't have just kissed Michael. Listen, a kiss is not that big of a thing. What is a threshold for a kiss? Even when you look at past seasons and you look at Brett and Ryan and they didn't kiss, or you looked at Haley and I forgot the other guy's name when Haley wasn't attracted to him. And I asked myself, well, is this the same thing? And I don't think it is, because even when that guy on the Zoom call was trying to tell Jasmina, hey, if he made an extra move, would you like it? Jasmina was very open to it, and she actually said she liked it, as opposed to those other couples like Brett and Ryan. He wasn't interested in trying to kiss Brett at all. Ryan didn't want to kiss Brett because he didn't want to lead her on. But is that the reason Jasmina doesn't want to kiss Michael? Because I don't think it's just an attraction thing. Because you know what? People kiss people that they're so-called not attracted to all the time. Sometimes you kiss them and then that's when the sparks fly. So the idea that this relationship went the way it did, the way it started, the meanness of Jasmina in the beginning, I don't think it's about attraction, because even when you're not attracted to a person, you don't need to be as mean as Jasmina was. Jasmina was in protective mode, and I think she still is. I think Jasmina has some therapy to do. Maybe that psychic is right. Maybe in a year and a half, she's going to have twins, but that psychic also said she's going to regret not choosing Michael. So I hope it doesn't become a situation where she has twins, but she ain't got no husband, and all she becomes is a baby mama. But in the end, I don't think Michael should say yes to Jasmina. I don't think he should stick in this because it actually is a form of talk about deprivation of emotional support. I wouldn't say yes to it at this point. If she had shown him something, I would say, hey, stick in there. Maybe they can develop the feelings later on in marriage. But I think both Jasmina and Michael should say no. And lastly, Lindsey and Mark the Shark. I want to say this. It was the first episode where I was actually on Lindsey's side. I think Lindsey gave Olajuwon some good advice. And I think the conversation Lindsey was having with her friends, she was much more rational and thoughtful in her talk and in speech and the things that she was saying. And I actually agree with her. And what I also saw about Mark is Mark wants a caseworker. Mark wants a mother. A lot of ways I think Mark is actually using Lindsey. I don't think Mark loves Lindsey at all. I think he loves what Lindsey can do for him. He's using Lindsey. The fact that Lindsey's always on calls, talking to his mother off ledges, talking to his mother to go to the doctor. She's acting as a caseworker for Mark. Mark is a lot of work. She has to help him with his apartment, his job, his mother, almost anything. And when Mark fell out on that football field because he pulled a muscle, get the medic, and he starts screaming, get the medic. I said, good Lord, boy, what's going on? All you have is a cramp in your leg, but you want to call the doctor. He's so dramatic. And like I said from the very beginning of this season, he and Lindsey were a lot alike. But the problem was that Lindsey outshined him. But in this last episode, you really got to see Mark in full effect. He doesn't love Lindsey. He just loves what Lindsey can do and take care of him. And when he took Lindsey to his mother's house, talking about we can move in here to my mother's house, I thought to myself, oh, hell no, I wouldn't want to move into some woman's house. And when he said his mother couldn't even get out of bed because she weighed so much, I was like, and all that stuff in the apartment, like it was a hoarder's apartment. I said, good Lord, why does Mark think Lindsey would want to move in here? Lindsey should say no to Mark, and Mark should say no to Lindsey. And now that Mark has a place to stay of his own in his mother's apartment, he doesn't have to feel like he's got to move into Lindsey's apartment. But both of these two, they absolutely need to say no on decision day. So that's it, y'all. I'll see you on decision day to see how it all turns out. Talk to you later. Bye.